Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Record Art. I am your host, Arthur Bueno, and what we have here today is Earl Sweatshirts' recent release titled Feet of Clay. So when I heard one of the songs East, I thought this was kind of strange, and I liked it very much. I did like his some rap songs record, which I will also review as well here. And when I saw the record art for this, because it was all kind of just, it looks like it was going to be just digital, and it ended up not being digital. He actually had a release of this record, and so I said, you know what, I gotta have it. I was actually in New London. I think it was New London. Either I got it at New London or it was in New London. It was at the Telegraph record store in New London here in Connecticut, and he had this record, and I was like, you know what, I gotta have it. It was just me and my girlfriend just hanging out and just getting some food, and we wanted to walk around and checked out this record store, and he had this record. So I don't know what, whether if this was the first pressing of this like kind of record. I don't know if he had other editions where it had, I think it was red and it had a foot, bleeding foot in the middle. But I always liked this design. I thought this was kind of creepy, and it sort of shows sort of like kind of the darkness of like this record itself, because this record was pretty dark and kind of strange and very weird. It was kind of spooky and very mystical, I guess. So let's go ahead and go into it. So right off the bat, when you look at the record, I mean, it looks like a black metal record. I mean, to be honest, it looks like, something that black metal artists would, actually take interest in, and sort of just be like, you know what, let me listen to this, and then they will be really disappointed because it's a poet that raps over strange samples. So, though this is not a photography like situation here, as a photographer, you kind of got to look at almost everything. You got to look at color, designs, compositions, just and sort of like concept and moods, right? So here we have what looks like a goat, just kind of relaxing inside of a very like deep into the forest, very foggy right here, and for some reason, when I look at, these types of animals, there's some sort of like religious sort of, not necessarily witchery kind of like situation here, but I don't know what I'm saying. I think this is that like every time I think of goats, I always think of like that satanic kind of like situation, but there's something really strange going on in this front cover, and I love it. I fucking love it, dude. I love it. Let's see. The record is definitely dark, or at least the image is very dark. Right off the bat, I think the thing that you do see first is really just this situation, the face. And I don't know if this is kind of a rule of thirds kind of situation, kind of looking at that kind of design-wise. But the highlights of this painting, of this image, is just ever so slight. It's a very soft but dark image. Let's see. You can see some mushrooms right here. see what else kind of like things you can look at. It doesn't give you any kind of other hints if there's anything else here you should be looking at. Maybe you can kind of just turn it around and see. I mean, does that look like something? Hmm. No. I mean, there's nothing mysterious about it other than it being mysterious itself. Feet of clay. Um, though when you think of feet of clay, you just think of something, at least for me, just something so sort of religious about that. Let's go look in the back. So you got this sort of statue situation here. And immediately when you turn it over, you'll definitely be drawn in on this because this is the brightest part of the image, right? Atmosphere is great. It's consistent with the color palette as well from the front. Very earthy tones. Slight exposure here, like outlining it's like backlit, so there's some outlining of here and just a little touch of light going on. And if you notice that the light direction is the same, it's going from this side. But you can already tell that this is the strongest image to be put in the front. It's so subtle and it's so strange, but I love it. I mean, it's something that I don't know if I would put this on my wall because there's such a mood to it that it creeped me out. All right. Let's look inside and see. So that's really just it, huh? All right, let's look at the sleeve here. So I think this is actually sleeve for. This image is for the song that him and Mobby released called "Whole World" with production with Alchemist. Production is by Earl Sweatshirt, produced by The Alchemist, produced by Overcast, produced by Earl Sweatshirt and Makami, and produced by Black Noise. So, I mean, it's a very generic, sheet. This right here doesn't really make any sense, But if you look at it, I mean, there's bars right here. We're just sort of looking at the world like in its exhibit. It's like a museum piece, like the world is a museum. I don't know, man. I mean, like it's a great record, but the thing is that conceptually when you listen to the record and you look at the art, I mean, it does have a lot of strange, feelings to it, and it's just really confusing, but I think that's what he wanted. All right, so let's go ahead and do the reveal of the record itself. Okay, look at that. So it has some consistency of the color, which I'm very, very, very happy he, or whoever the team did, had kept sort of that earthy tone situation there. If you look in the back, you can see it though here. All right, yeah, the window, you can see that light. You can see the design of the record in the back. So this is not a two-sided LP, because this is just an EP, but it's a picture disc. I still spin this record quite frequently. If I want to listen to something really strange, this is actually my kind of go-to kind of thing. And you know, there's been a lot of hip hop as of late that's just been just crushing it. I would love to get more of these records. I think this is my first hip hop record that I had purchased, if I really think about it. But kind of just sort of closing out the kind of video and kind of talking about the layout of this. I think it's, in a way, not a strong design by any means, but it's still kind of intriguing, and it's something that you can put, you know, in your shelf, and you know, someone would definitely kind of be like, hey, you know, what record is that? It's very intriguing looking. You can tell that this front portion of the record is probably the best choice to have, you know, the viewer sort of be enticed into purchasing it just for the image alone. So, but it does lack a little bit of things. I'm not so sure what's going on with this part of the sheet. You know, again, maybe it's, you know, we look at the world like it's a museum piece. And that about does it for this episode of Record Art Volume 2. I think it's great. I think it's a great record, but it still has a lot of, you know, something's lacking with it by design. The music, however, is, at least for me, I think I'm so inclined to listen to it just because it's very, very strange, and it's just cool, you know. It's just something to kind of like think about and just listen to. But I love it. You know, I think it's a great record for what it is, and you know, it shouldn't be slept on. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you want more videos like this in the future, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And as always, thank you for watching Record Art. All right. See you guys later.